what do we say in these intros? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Two Asian Blokes podcast, a podcast where we talk about Asian pop culture, movies, food, something. I already forgotten. What are we feeling at the time, really? My name is Dan with a H, but it's not. It is Thavy with a H, but it's not. Actually, it is actually silent as well. Thavy with a H. But I'm here with a very special guest and our number one fan. It's Mr. Leck Gill. Say hi, Leck.
Oh, hi. Actually, I do have a silent H as well in my name.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah, my full name is Leck Binder.
Yeah, Leck Binder. That's right. Yeah. So we might have mentioned you on the podcast a few times. For any of you super diehard fans, you wouldn't be more diehard than Leck, who's the number one. But you have no relation to the film industry. You're just a really good mate of ours that we met when Dan and I worked in Japan. And we're here in your home in very lovely, chilly Sapporo.
Yeah, definitely the weather here is much more suitable than Tokyo, where you spent, the last 2 weeks, I think?
Yeah, I think I spent 2 weeks in Tokyo. I guess Dan and I will probably have an episode where we guest bag and talk shit about our Tokyo highlights. But this is basically the first ever podcast I've ever done in Sapporo. But yeah, no, it's cool. But I mean, if you want to go into a little bit about maybe your history with us, or even your taste in films or of Asian. This is an Asian cinema podcast.
Oh, okay. Let's see. So I met Dan and Thavy. Can we say the name of the place?
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, I hope they don't sue us. Yeah, we met in a school called Nova. We only hung out for not even 2 years, right?
Yeah.
It's like a year and a half.
We hung out for a year and a half.
Then after that, I did go over to Australia about 6 years ago to meet this guy.
Yes, this guy, Thavy. The Thavy origin story, which could tie into what we're talking about today. But I think maybe my origin story has turned out for the better. What we're going to talk about. We'll be talking about Joker 2.
Oh, yes.
Which by the time of this release, everyone's probably moved on. But we're always late to the party with Two Asian Blokes because Dan and I work really slowly. And we don't get paid to do this. It's a hobby. So it's fine. Yeah.
Trying to think what's the Asian link for Joker 2. Were there any Asians in the movie?
There's one that gets bullied in Joker 1, and there was a bit of a controversy. Do you remember? Actually, no.
Wait.
I'm wrong. That's the Batman.
Wait.
No, I'm completely wrong. There's no Asians in Joker. That's the Batman. You've obviously seen the Batman.
Robert Pattinson Batman?
Yeah. You know, there's at the start where there's the frat boy white guys, they pick on this Asian dude in the subway. Yeah. There was actually a bit of controversy with that because it's promoting Asian hate. But I mean, it's Batman is beating those guys up. But yeah, Asians are the new punching bag in Hollywood these days. I've always gone on about that. That's all right, That's fine. We're getting roles at least. If we're punching bags, then oh well. As long as they're paying us to be punching bags.
Yeah, I guess DC is not very Asian friendly.
No, not really. I mean, I've known you for 8 years now.
Yeah.
And as you said, we've only spent that year and a half just, I don't know, being a menace around Tokyo.
Yep.
And probably drinking way too much in our mid-20s. But now we're in our 30s. We have adult responsibilities. You've got a lot more than me. But, that's all good. We're trying to relive our youth. But no, I'm glad to be in Sapporo. I really like it here. It's nice and cool, as you said. It's not as sweating your balls off humid. I don't have to switch a t-shirt every 2 hours because I'm soaked or something like that. So it's quite refreshing.
Sapporo, it's like the lesser known cousin of Japan.
I think so. That's not in a bad way, though.
Oh, no.
It's definitely a lot quieter than compared to the other places I've been to on this trip. But yeah, I did say we're going to talk about Joker 2 and that there are, from memory, no Asians in this movie. So
I guess the only Asian link is that I saw it here in Sapporo.
Yeah.
So I saw it in Asia, even though it's not an Asian movie.
Yeah, that's okay. So, I mean, Dan and I, we've often gone off and just talked about whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
And while you and I were talking off air at some points, like, what what's something that we were going to cover.
Yeah.
We were originally going to cover Venom 3.
Oh,
but
yes.
that's not out yet here, to my knowledge.
Yeah. Actually, it's really weird. It was like, it was out for just this weekend.
So
Because I saw,
tweeting,
Hideo Kojima, Twitter, he watched it somehow. Yeah, actually, it was only out for this weekend, but then officially comes out on Friday, which is next week.
What was Hideo Kojima's verdict?
So you know when Hideo Kojima doesn't like something, he doesn't give a big review.
Oh yeah.
So like when he likes something, he's like, oh my god, he uses his Twitter blue account and writes like a massive post.
Yeah.
For Venom, it's just I watched Venom 3.
Okay.
And that was it.
Yeah. Fair enough. It hasn't been getting the best reviews. That whole trilogy hasn't been positively well received. I didn't like the first two. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like the third one, but they're just dumb fun movies. Yeah. So, yeah. But anyway, we're not talking about Venom 3.
No.
We're talking about Joker 2, which has universally been banned. I mean, is there a synopsis I need to bring? It's just a follow-up to the Joker 1, the very immensely popular Todd Phillips directed film, which made over $1 billion in the box office. And there was no plan to be a sequel, but as Warner Brothers, DC were like, oh, we finally got something that's successful from this DC franchise that's not connected to DC, but its own thing.
Yeah.
We need a sequel now. So thus we have Joker Folie à Deux.
Oh, yes. I can never say that name. I've been just calling it Joker 2 the whole time. I'm probably going to call it Joker 2. I'm not going to even try to pronounce.
Folie à Deux? I don't know if I'm even saying it properly either.
I don't think I've ever had anyone just say Joker the other words.
Try it. Give it a go.
All right, Joker Folie à Deux.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know why I have to like say it like that.
I think you really had to put some thought into it. Folie à Deux.
Yeah, what a terrible name. Terrible movie. Oh, I think I've already
it's pretty
jumped the gun a bit. But yeah, Joker 2. I'm just going with
Joker 2 is fine. I sometimes actually just call it Folie à Deux because it's a stupid title, but it still somehow, for me, kind of rolls off the tongue. I could be pronouncing it wrong, but I don't think French people care. But it's supposed to mean the madness of two, but it's not really that much about Harley Quinn. So
I think she actually. Oh wait, this is not a spoiler, but like
we can talk spoilers because no one gives a shit about this movie.
Straight into spoilers.
So there are going to be spoilers in this review because I don't think people will care by the time this review is out. So feel free to talk about whatever happens at the end.
All right, cool. So in this movie, she doesn't go by Harley. She goes by Lee.
Yeah, Lee. Yeah.
I don't know, just trying to be different. Yeah.
Well, this movie is really trying very hard to distance itself from the DC universe. It was probably successful in the first Joker film. What's your opinion on the first Joker movie?
Wow, I loved it.
Yeah?
I think the best part was just Joaquin Phoenix's performance overall.
Yeah.
And how it didn't feel like a comic book movie. Because there's so many of them. I love them all, but even I get kind of tired of them. Yeah. So I could recommend this to my non-comic book friend. Yeah. Like my wife, she's not into comic book movies and she loved Joker. So that's why we're like, let's go to the cinema to see Joker 2. And
yeah, I think I'm of the same opinion. I wouldn't say I loved it. I think it's a good movie, and I think it is quite different from many other DC films. Very, very different. But I think it's also like I would just watch Taxi Driver if I wanted to watch a film like this. I think it's weird because, as most of you guys probably know, I'm not the biggest comic book film fan. I do enjoy them from time to time. Like I liked what's that movie with Hugh Jackman, Deadpool and Wolverine versus Wolverine. What was it, Deadpool and Wolverine? I forgot.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, fucking dinosaur. What's the versus Wolverine? You fucking old. But no, I enjoyed that movie, and I like the Robert Pattinson Batman as well. But yeah, no, I enjoyed the first Joker. I think it was a good condensed story. It kind of brought it down to a realistic telling of an origin story. But I think sometimes when I watch a comic book film, I still like the comic elements of it. Yeah. Like I want to see like heroes fighting villains because that's cool. You know, it's fun to watch. which I think is probably one of several issues with the second Joker, is that, well, I mean, before I get into that, maybe I can start off with the positives of this movie first. You were talking about Joaquin Phoenix's performance.
Yeah.
I think Joaquin and Lady Gaga, they do a good job in their role. There's not much to fault from them, to be honest.
Yeah, I think both of them were really good. Sadly, the music was really... I mean, some people say it was on purpose. Like, because obviously Joker, or Arthur Fleck is not supposed to be a singer. Yeah. But why is Lady Gaga's song so bad?
Well, I think we talked about this the other day, and I think there was an interview where Lady Gaga said she kind of had to meet Joaquin a bit more on his level.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the contrasting of vocal abilities would be too much. But some argued, well, Joaquin did Johnny Cash in Walk the Line. That was in 2007, I think.
Oh. Yeah, totally forgot about that.
Yeah. And apparently he sings really well in that movie, but that was 16 years ago.
Yeah.
But actually, on the music, do you think a Joker musical or it being a musical, what do you think about that idea in general?
Actually, at first I was really, I wouldn't say excited, but I was really intrigued by the idea. That Lady Gaga, of course, I really like the movie A Star is Born. And yeah, I like her songs. I think she's actually a really good actress as well.
Yeah.
So, and of course, it was unique. We've seen like so many other superhero movies. So, I mean, it sounds weird to call it a superhero movie. It's based on a comic. It's not really.
Yeah, it's not really superhero.
Yeah,
it's not really a super villain movie either.
Nothing really super about it. Yeah, I was really intrigued, and I was like, oh, well, we got to go to the cinema for this one. Experience the sound in IMAX and everything. So, I mean, that's probably why I'm like doubly disappointed. Because
you spent a lot of money to watch this movie.
I hardly go to the cinema these days. Like, I only go for movies that seem like it's worth a cinema experience.
So how much yen did you spend on this movie? How much for one ticket for one person?
So it was in IMAX, and it was 2,500 yen. Yeah. So I'm not sure what's that in Australian dollars.
Australian dollars, that's actually quite cheap for IMAX movie.
Yeah.
I've been going on this whole trip about how like things are cheaper here, but that's just because Melbourne cost of living is fucking ridiculous. And to the unfortunate Japanese economy, but to our benefit, our dollar is really good against the yen.
Yeah. So
it's basically 1-to-1. $1 is 100 yen. So it's about 25 Australian dollars, which is the average price for a ticket normally in an extreme screen. IMAX would be like 4,000 yen to watch an IMAX movie.
But it's not just the money. It's like, because I have a kid, so it's really difficult to go to the cinema. So it's like we had to arrange for him to go on daycare on a Saturday, just for that.
Yeah, it is a lot harder. Sometimes because I don't have that much responsibility. So for me, I spent $10 at Airport West in a shitty little cinema, but because I'm a member there and it's $10, and I heard super negative things about this movie, and I was like, I'm just fucking curious.
Yeah.
So I drove 10 minutes to the cinema, paid my $10, and yep, that was bad, and then left home. But I mean, digressing a little bit back to the musical aspect. I was also pretty intrigued at first because it's pretty different. And the idea of Joker being a musical is not beyond the character itself, because Joker is essentially a nutcase, right? So going off onto musical tangents doesn't sound too far from the character.
Yeah.
But they were just very poorly executed in this movie. I don't think I remember a single song. After about an hour of this movie, I was quite tempted to walk out because I wasn't losing very much. So I was really bored, which is another thing about this movie. And I'm quite privy to slow movies. I love a lot of my contemplative Japanese dramas or Asian dramas, but I kind of prepare myself to watch these kind of films in my headspace. Joker 2 is just boring.
Yeah.
Like nothing happens.
Yep.
Would you agree?
It's not as that it's boring. It's like every time it gets interesting, then the music, the song kicks in. It's like the part where he's getting interviewed by Alan Partridge. Oh, what's his name?
Oh, yeah, Steve Coogan.
Yeah. I was like, oh, they're going to like, he's asking some interesting questions, Though, actually, before that, Arthur had been like quiet the whole movie.
Uh-huh.
So he's like speaking more, starts shouting. I'm like, oh, okay, things are getting good. And he's like, well, it's a wonderful. When he's singing, the singing would just come at the worst parts.
You want something. You want to see Joker kill people.
Yeah,
because that's just fun, right? And I think that's the hard balance between making a sequel. I'm always usually on the artist's side, so I do believe in giving, let's say, Todd Phillips the creative range, and I actually do quite respect Warner Brothers in not interfering with like his creative vision. So I have to give kudos to that. But when Todd Phillips did what he did with his creative vision, I don't think there was, because they gave him too much freedom, that there was no one there to pull him back and be like, I think, like, look, I respect your vision, but this is essentially a comic book film nonetheless, and your audience want to see something happen. So there's kind of this fine balance between what the audience wants to see and what the artist wants to do. And it's hard because when I do stuff, I'm like, I just want to do whatever the hell I want. But it's also, someone kind of does need to pull me back a little bit and be like, well, this might be a bit too crazy, or this is not going to be received quite well. And I mean, obviously, by this point, there's no, like, hating on Joker 2 has become a meme of itself. It's just boring. I mean, back to the positives, I think the cinematography is still really good in this film. If you remember the animation at the start.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was
really
cool.
Good. Yeah.
It's very, like, what's the Warner Brothers Bugs Bunny style?
Oh, yeah. It had the, was it, that's all, folks?
Yeah. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it kind of started good. And then just when the singing started, it all just comes down to the singing.
How do you feel about musicals in general, though?
I haven't seen many, but the few I've seen, like La La Land, really liked. Like, definitely not a musical person. But I don't hate the genre. But yeah, this is just a bad musical.
I mean, because you and I think we were just hanging at your place last night. We were just chilling out, and we were watching bits of Paddington, which is essentially a musical. And those songs are great. Paddington's fantastic. And then I think I was talking about Paul King's Wonka with Timothy Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet.
French
Timothy Chalamet.
Chalamet. All right, let's go with that.
But that song, that movie is quite good as well, and it's a musical. So most people know I'm not a big fan of musicals. Yeah. I think the new Wicked movie looks rubbish, but that's just because I don't like John M. Chu's movies.
But he's making that. I didn't even know that.
Oh, you didn't know it was John M. Chu? Yeah. You know who that is, right?
Yeah, he's like the Fast and Furious guy.
No, that's a different John.
Oh, am I confusing the Asian directors?
Justin Lin.
Oh, my bad.
Guy.
Wait, is he the one who made Now You See Me? What's that?
No, John M. Chu did Now You See Me too.
Oh, okay.
He didn't do the first one, but all his movies suck.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Now You See Me 2 was pretty bad.
Yeah. Because, he did Crazy Rich Asians, which is his most, critically acclaimed film, but I still think it sucks. But I don't want to complain about that movie anymore. I do that too much on this podcast. But yeah, I think there was a point where I was sort of getting drawn back into the film. It's during the court case scene, because for the whole movie, or most of the movie, Arthur Fleck has reverted back to being Arthur Fleck, which was, I think, a bad choice because it just kind of undermines everything that happens in the first movie.
Yeah.
But there's a bit where he's being represented by, I think, Catherine Keener, his lawyer. But for a lot of the plot, Harley is like, you shouldn't let her control you because I like you, as the Joker. So then he chooses to fire her, and he represents himself.
Yeah.
And then he talks to the dwarf guy.
Oh,
yeah.
But is it Puddles or something?
Is it Puddles? Yeah.
Because he just kept going on in that joke again. Your name is Puddles?
Yeah.
It was like, went on for like a few too many minutes. But yeah, when Joker was doing like the foghorn, leghorn. Yeah, that was like, ooh, things are getting good again.
Yeah. It was kind of fun because I'm like, okay, I'm actually seeing Joker, not Arthur Fleck.
Yeah.
Because you're watching Joker 2 to see basically the evolution of where this character... And I know Todd Phillips has said, yeah, look, I never intended Arthur Fleck to be the Joker.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be an iteration of Joker. But you still want to see that. You can still... Like, the story is quite malleable to that. But that was kind of like the shining light a little bit, because I thought that scene was quite fun. And Joaquin wasn't just a sad, mopey guy getting beaten up by security guards and going on musical love tangents with Lady Gaga. Yeah. But no, it drops off again after that.
Yeah, I thought the... I wish I knew the character's name. The actor who played Puddles.
I don't know. I can bring it up. Jamie, bring it up. Bring it up on the screen. Bring it up on the screen.
Oh,
we don't have a Jamie, unfortunately.
No, we need a AI Joe Rogan.
AI Joe Rogan. You can't. Yeah, I guess that's the benefit is with AI, we don't need to pay a Jamie anymore.
No,
but no, I'm not gonna do that.
I think his name is Leigh Gill.
Oh, Leigh Gill.
As Gary Puddles. Yeah,
Gary Puddles.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, it was only a few minute performance, but that was a really, really good performance.
Yeah. I don't think any of the performances, except maybe the guy that plays Harvey Dent, is a little bit overacting.
Yeah.
But aside from that, there's no bad performance in this movie. I think Brendan Gleeson does a good job.
Yeah, he was really, but I wanted to see like a bit more from him. Everyone is kind of underutilized. Like Zazie Beetz, she was in the movie for what, like 3 minutes, and it was just that courtroom scene.
It's weird because there's actually a lot good about this movie.
Yeah.
But it's the writing and the plot and the premise that really drags this movie down. As I was saying, I found this movie really boring and I wanted to walk out. Like, I was very tempted to.
Yeah.
Like, my theater, I watched this movie on opening day and there was only 3 of us in the cinema.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Just me and maybe like a mid-40s couple just like in front of me. Yeah. There was no reaction from anyone. It's just like, movie starts, movie ends. Yeah. Was yours a packed theater? I guess it would have been.
Yeah, it was not the first day, but it was the first weekend. Yeah, it was pretty packed. It's a Japanese crowd, so they don't really like whoop and yell or anything. So I really can't tell how their reception was. Yeah, I was just kind of like stunned at the end. Like, wow. Didn't talk for like 5-10 minutes. Just, yeah. That's one thing about this movie, I'd say. It's a terrible movie, but I've thought about it constantly since, more so than a lot of good movies I've seen. So if that's a good point about it, just makes you think like how bad it was, but how good it could have been. This is mega spoiler territory, but I think we're already in there.
Yeah.
About the ending, about how the person who killed Arthur was the real Joker.
Yeah.
I like the whole idea of that. Like, oh, he was never the Joker. He was, I guess a Joker.
It wasn't earned, though.
Yeah.
Because the movie's bad. So the ending is bad.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. Like, the idea of Arthur Fleck being killed is a risk, but it could have paid off really well.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, if you're going to connect this Joker to the Robert Pattinson Joker, why would Joker be like 70-something years old and like be a mega freak?
Yeah.
But Arthur Fleck is killed. But yeah, it's like, I'm conflicted because I think I know what Todd Phillips was trying to do with this movie. I'm not sure how I can articulate it because it is essentially a reaction to the love of the first film, which can be described by the traditional media as like the incels masterpiece, the incels icon.
Yeah.
So everyone in that circle of audience really loved this movie. And then it's kind of like, I think what Todd Phillips is trying to say with this film is this is not a person that should be an icon.
Yeah.
And I think he still could have done that if he had just stuck to making Joker the Joker, but not Arthur Fleck.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been something like he started the movie as, the Joker and then slowly realized, oh, I'm not the Joker, or something like that. Like the overall premise of the movie, like how Arthur Fleck was never the Joker and not someone who should be idolized, is a great idea. But just the execution was absolutely terrible.
I mean, this is just coming from my personal taste in films. I think this movie needed to be darker. Like, it really needed to push the Joker to do some pretty obscene things. Not graphically dark, just his actions really needed to be, like, wrong to the point where people who enjoy watching these kind of films would be like, oh, well, that seemed really cool, but, like, that's also quite violence. Like, the best way I could describe it is like, with a Takashi Miike film, with Audition or A Lesson of Evil, where like the brief plot with A Lesson of Evil is that there is a shooting at the end that involves a college of sorts, and part of it is quite fun, but then there's some parts of it that gets quite dark and real, but it's played off as fun. So it's kind of like testing the audience's reaction to violence content. And I think Todd Phillips should have gone that direction rather than basically just shitting on Arthur Fleck, right?
Yeah. What could he have done to have not ruined the ending? The best thing he could have done is just not made Joker 2.
Yeah. I don't think he wanted to.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. The thing is, like, he's such a popular director after Joker 1. He could have made anything else, I feel. But then again, I could see Warner Brothers being like, no, Joker 2. And then you can make your indie flick after that. But now I think I think he could be screwed. I think Warner Brothers is going to be a bit more wary, and he doesn't have that respect that he had after Joker 1.
What this will say to executives is, well, we shouldn't trust creatives anymore. So it'll just be back to hiring like, an award-winning indie director to make a big budget project, but they're not actually directing it. We are still the ones in charge. Something like, Chloe Zhao's Eternal or something like that. Probably something very similar to this situation would be Taika Waititi's sequel to Ragnarok, Love and Thunder, which was at that year the worst movie of the year for me. I just found that movie really awful.
Oh.
Yeah.
Actually, I disliked Ragnarok. I can't say the name. What's with these, odd names? Ragnarok, Folie, just Thor 3.
Thor 3.
Yeah.
It's got to set itself apart,
Yeah.
Sometimes it sounds cool.
I really disliked Thor 3 just from the sudden shift into comedy. It was just, and so a lot of the jokes, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's like Oceania humor, but I just really didn't like Thor 3. I mean, Thor's 2 and 1 weren't exactly amazing movies either.
Yeah.
But just the sudden like left turn. And it's not just Thor himself, Hulk as well became like this
bit of a jerky punching bag. Yeah.
And then the next Avengers movie, Thor's back to being serious again.
Yeah.
It's just, and then he goes back to
Yeah. I think I enjoyed Ragnarok is because I'm not attached to the characters. And I thought it was just a fun movie. Probably looking back on it now, and after seeing Love and Thunder and see where it's gone, it's kind of like, I'm not sure if I liked Ragnarok that much anymore. I'll probably never watch it again, but I still thought Ragnarok was an enjoyable film, but I thought Love and Thunder was pretty horrible. But like my theory is that, with Taika Waititi and Todd Phillips, they might be more on the auteur side of things. So it could essentially have been, I'm making this movie bad on purpose because Warner Brothers is paying me this money. It's in my contract. And regardless of whether the film fails or not, that doesn't break my bottom dollar. So I can get out of making these kind of films and still get paid.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that's true or not. So yeah, I think Todd Phillips just doesn't want to make a Joker 3. And it's obviously not going to happen because Arthur Fleck is dead. Joaquin Phoenix says he can't lose that much weight again in a sudden shift.
Yeah, especially seeing him at the start of the movie with his back just sticking out. Like, ooh, his shoulder blade. Just, that's a crazy amount of weight to lose.
I think he's nearly like 50 now.
Oh, he would be, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's an old dude. He's been
Jamie,
around
pull that up.
Jamie, pull it up. Jamie, pull it up. Let's see. Jamie, get out on screen, Jamie. Oh, he is exactly 50.
Oh, he's actually 50.
He turned 50 like a few days ago.
October 28th.
So he's 50.
Wait. Is that
October 28th?
That's today.
Oh, he turned 50 today. There you go.
Oh, as time of filming.
At time of recording.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
He's 50. There you go. Because he can still do it. Because I think, I talk about this movie a lot, Beau is Afraid, which is like one of my favorite movies of last year. Yeah. And also a movie that is Ari Aster's like full creative control and was also had a very mixed opinion. But the difference is stuff happens in that movie. It might not make sense, but stuff happens. Whereas this one, like, everything is quite competent, but just thinking back what we're talking, the music is not elevated enough. The courtroom drama is not elevated enough. He only kills one guy in this film, and that's in a dream sequence, a musical number.
Oh, yeah, he smashes
Harvey Dent. Judge's head. And Harvey Dent as well?
I think so.
Oh, okay, maybe two people.
Yeah.
So that's the fake body count because they're not actually dead.
Yeah.
And when I was watching that, like, man, I wish he was actually just doing that. You know?
Yeah. I think I'm more surprised that it turned out bad. Like, there's some movies you see and it's like, oh, that's gonna probably be bad. Like Venom 3. You know. Well, this one is like, oh, it's follow up to the Joker. Joker 1 was great. It's musical. Oh, that sounds good. It's got Lady Gaga. Oh, wow. Then so all these things just kind of build up the hype, and it's like, oh no, it's one of the worst movies of the year.
I think so.
Of the year, probably going to win all the Razzies
because there's no catharsis in this movie. Because there is a scene where Arthur Fleck Joker has become Joker once again, but the guards, should I do the censored YouTube language? They SA him.
Oh yeah, that was
implied SA.
Yeah,
but nothing happens to them after that. So you'd want to see Joker get some kind of revenge on them. Like, even though this is not supposed to be like a feel-good movie, you need some moments like that. Especially, it's hard because this is a blockbuster film at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So you want to see, even though Joker is a villain, you want to empathize with this character a little bit. You want to kind of live out that dark part of your personality. And you want to see people get what they deserve.
Yeah, those prison guards, there was no comeuppance for them. Yeah. They just, ended up, SAing Joker. They killed that his buddy.
They killed his best friend, but I didn't feel anything for that guy. He was just like...
It's kind of, okay then, moving on.
I mean, what did he do? He kept singing The Saints Are Marching In or something. Yeah. Is that the hook for this character? We're supposed to like him? Is that, sure, buddy.
Yeah. I don't think he even got like a musical scene after.
No.
He just, okay, move on. There's another thing, the bomb at the end when to break out Joker from the prison. It was never explained.
Yeah. It was very disappointing. It was a Deus Ex Machina moment, right? Just like, a guy just blew up the thinger because you're so inspiring.
Yeah, it's just, come on, give us something here. It's like, again, it's like so many moments like, getting interesting.
It's like, it just kept pulling it back. Yeah. I think Todd Phillips was trying to subvert expectation too much.
Yeah.
That he didn't make it entertaining. Did you ever watch a show called Rocko's Modern Life?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember a particular episode where there's this one dude, he works with like Rocco and his buddies, and they come up with this he's trying to get fired by this studio, so he comes up with this really stupid idea because he wants to create like art. And they make a comic about a cheese and a ham, and something else, and it's like becomes really successful, and then he's doing his hardest to make it really bad, but then it just keeps becoming more and more successful. And then Rocco, I think there's a bit where Rocco's like, this is something, you've created something that people love, and you should be proud of it. So you should put your passion into it, put your ideas into it, like kind of go with the flow of it. And the guy's like, yeah. So like it shows like in the next frame where the guy has that revelation, it shows like this sort of very artistic version of this cartoon. And it shows like 5 seconds of it and it's like cancelled immediately and everyone just hates it. So it's kind of that idea where Todd Phillips was probably on the opposite end. Like, I've got this really artistic idea of something that people love, but I'm going to really subvert it, but everyone hates it. Unfortunately, and it just doesn't work. Sometimes you just need to make a blockbuster film. You just make it, you know.
Just like, give the people what they want. Or it doesn't have to be, at least a little bit.
You have to balance it. Yeah, you can't be too self-indulgent because, it's just, I felt really dirty by the end of this film in the fact of how pathetic Arthur Fleck was made, because then he's just dumped by Lady Gaga. And it's just like, I didn't feel very good about this. It's like, I know I shouldn't be empathetic to Joker, but it's just like, man, give the guy a bit of a break. Like, give the character. I mean, I know you in screening, you're supposed to put your character for the worst shit ever, but like, I don't know. I just didn't like it. I'm just like, what? Like, you're such a loser by the end of the movie. That's the point. Fuck you, audience, Yeah,
the whole ending was just so disappointing. It was like raising your expectations up. It's like, oh, he's getting out of prison. And like one of the Joker cronies rescued him. It's like, oh, maybe he's going to like become the clown prince of crime Joker, just kind of something's going to happen. And then he's like, no, he runs out into the street. It's like, oh, he's going to see Harley. Oh, they're going to get together.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, nope, you're dumped. And then he's just so broken, he can't even run away from the police. It's just like, oh, this is what Joker 2 is all about. When she starts singing, and Arthur's like, stop singing. Stop singing.
I've seen a few memes about that where it's like, stop singing, just stop singing.
Yeah, this is like, oh, this is so meta. It's like, this is like what we're all thinking. But
just
it's like,
stop singing.
Yeah.
Maybe that was by design by Todd Phillips, but because it sounds like a good idea to be that meta.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work. It just doesn't work on screen, unfortunately.
I kind of like don't appreciate it because it's like, hey, you can't make that joke. I mean, not the joke. You can't say that. That's what we're saying.
Like, sometimes I'm not sure about the whole like reference pop culture thing, but I think sometimes Marvel does it well, even though it might date the movie a little bit. I mean, if we're talking about Spider-Man No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine, they kind of play into the audience expectation, and they have done the research, like, what, with the cavalry and all that stuff. DC's, for some reason, kind of falls behind, even though I think I mentioned Nicolas Cage Superman in The Flash, which actually looked kind of funny when I saw it. But with Joker, you just didn't get anything. I actually didn't notice that the guy was carving like a smile on his cheek. I didn't notice that. I think I checked out. I'm like, I want to go home now.
I think I noticed it because it was like, I wanted something to happen. I'm like, oh, what's going on back there? It's like, again, it's like kind of like sums up Joker. It's like, come on, something's happening. Something interesting is happening. But you're not showing us. You're singing again, or you're moving on to something else. You just,
what was the movie like? What was its classification in like the Japanese? Because in Australia it's an MA rated film, so that's like 15 plus. If you're under 15, you have to be accompanied by a parent.
Actually, I've never really paid attention to classifications, but I'm pretty sure. Maybe we can get Jamie to pull it up.
All right, Jamie, let's pull it up.
Yeah.
Jamie.
But I think it's like
PG-12. Oh, yeah, PG-12. Okay.
What's in the UK and the US, actually?
The UK is 15. United is R-rated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is an adult film.
Yeah.
But I'm always quite perplexed by the Japanese rating system because PG-12 is like anyone can watch this. But I think the content in this movie, aside from like the implied essay, there's nothing really egregious about this movie.
Besides when Joker does, when he gets the big hammer and smacks him on the jump. That's pretty violent. That's
violent.
Yeah.
But they could have edited that down and then they could have just got the PG rating. But like, I think people wanted, because they know Joker is a mature story, because the first film is quite violent. So that the marketing from that would be like, it's R-rated. I think that's a pretty important thing.
Yeah.
But aside from that one scene, which doesn't actually happen in reality anyway, it's a pretty tame movie. You could argue that it has pretty strong adult themes.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just this movie just pulls its punches for like the whole thing.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I think they do swear.
Yeah, they do swear.
But it was never, I don't really remember impactful time when they swore.
Yeah, it's not. I feel like it's one of those movies that it could have been just an M-rated film or a G-rated film for that matter.
Yeah.
But the marketing is that it is an adult, edgy, adult R-rated film. Well, unfortunately, it's just like, it doesn't please anyone. Like, people will often, buy tickets to a lower-rated film and then sneak into the cinema.
Yeah.
But I feel like I went through this effort to watch something that's not even that edgy.
Yeah.
Like, there's a funny, this is not related to Joker, but there's this series of horror movies called the Terrifier movies.
Oh.
You know these ones?
It was in like the third one.
Third one just came out.
Yeah, and it like sold more than Joker.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like it made more money. It was like than Joker did. Maybe it didn't make more money, but it beat it for a weekend.
Is it like per capita kind of thing?
Something like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, because I was going to say, there's a kids movie out the same time that movie was released called The Wild Robot or something.
Oh, yeah, I heard that movie's actually pretty good.
Yeah, is it? Oh, I haven't heard anything about it. Oh. But a lot of people bought tickets to The Wild Robot and they just snuck into Terrifier 3. So it was just like kind of an unofficial ticket counter for that movie. Yeah, whereas like, I mean, that's a heavily violent film. You because you're not a horror guy, so you're probably not going to enjoy them. They're quite gory. Sometimes pretty hard to watch. Cartoony in their own way.
Oh, I know there's like a pro wrestler in it.
Oh, really?
Chris Jericho is in Terrifier 3.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I want to see it. It's out in Australia at the moment. It would get banned in Japan.
Ooh.
It's really gory.
It probably is. Yeah, it's like an indie film, so I don't think it's coming out here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
You have to find other means that I'm not going to discuss to get it. But like, I mean, I'm just curious a little bit more about if you know that much about the classification system, because it's really weird, because you have some films that are like, they're G-rated here, but they're like MA rated, like Baby Driver I think is a G-rated movie in Japan.
Really? Oh.
I wonder how it works, because you guys are quite strict here, but also very lenient to some things.
Yeah, it seems like Western movies get like more linear ratings. I know like you can say fuck on daytime TV here.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. But it's like, obviously the word doesn't have the meaning it has. I mean, they know what the word is. They know it's a bad word.
It doesn't have the same impact.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same impact. It's more like some sort of jokey thing to them. Like they'll play like rap songs, on the morning news or something.
I'm pretty sure I was at a cafe the other day and they were playing like some hip hop song that had a fair bit of swearing in it. And it's just like,
they don't play like the radio edits.
Yeah, no.
Because obviously rap songs, they're speaking so fast, they don't realize like, what is it? You're just like, wait, what? It's like 11 a.m. Whoa. Yeah, I'm not sure why so many things have different ratings. I think different things, like maybe the themes of the movie, like for example, Oppenheimer took like 6-7 months to get released here.
Yeah, but that's obviously due to its historical impact and the sensitivity of it to the people here. It's pretty, it's a complicated issue, I would say.
Yeah.
But like, I know in Japanese media, you have to make stuff. If you're going to make a violent movie, it needs to look unrealistic. Because I know like Biohazard or Resident Evil or Until Dawn, they have to censor some of the kills. So the Japanese version, like, I think I was watching, it was Sakura Miyawaki from Le Seraphim. She was playing on a live stream Resident Evil 7 or Village.
Yeah.
And like you can usually blow the heads off or the arms and off the lichens.
Yeah.
But they got rid of that in the Japanese version, which is funny because it's a Japanese game.
Yeah.
And I know in Until Dawn, there's Rami Malek's character gets like his like torso ripped through like with the saw. But they changed that. It's just that close-up shot of his face going, oh my God. Yeah, it's funny that's how Rami Malek, that's the first Rami Malek thing I saw him in. But anyway, back to Joker 2. So, yeah, I don't think there's anything very like egregious about this film. And even like in terms of like talking points, it's like there's nothing very interesting about what this movie is trying to say.
Yeah, trying to think of what's so interesting about Joker 2. Nothing really. I think the most interesting about it is how uninteresting it is.
Yeah.
Like, you know, how it could have been so much more. I think that's what that's why I dislike it more than, like, for example, trying to think of like what's a
worst movie this year. It's been a particularly bad year for films this year.
I haven't really seen that many movies this year. That's another thing. So when I go out to the cinema or watch a movie, it's kind of a rare occasion.
Yeah, that's fair.
I saw a movie on Apple TV, the one with Brad Pitt and George Clooney.
Oh yeah,
that was really good.
Oh, it's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Wolves. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I've heard it's all right. Yeah.
There's another one with Matt Damon and Casey Affleck.
I think I've seen that around, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's another. Apple TV is really good for like mindless, fun movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like mostly obviously watch movies at home.
Yeah, so. that's just the easier way. But also it's kind of like I understand as well. Like you can't just watch whatever you want when your kid is in the room.
Yeah,
you can't just watch, I don't know, Terrifier 3 or anything that. Yeah. So that's fair. But no, there's been a lot of movies I've seen this year that were really bad. And because I have a lot more freedom to go to the cinema, I will just go watch. I'll go watch a movie.
What's the worst movie you've seen besides Joker the worst?
2? Oh, I don't even know. It's pretty bad. Afraid John Cho movie. Yeah. That's pretty. Borderlands movie is pretty bad.
You watched Borderlands?
Yeah, I watched Borderlands.
Why?
Yeah, because I wanted to see how bad it was.
Oh,
and it's bad. The Crow remake was bad, but I think it's better than the Joker 2, honestly.
Yeah,
because at least things happened in that movie. But yeah, Joker 2 is a special kind of bad because it's one of those magical movie moments that have united everyone. Because Joker 1 had started such a controversy, because critics didn't like Joker 1 either, but that's because, you know, there's the culture wars between the left and the right and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But this one is just like, it's united all sides.
Yeah.
We all hate it. The left hate it, the right hate it, the middle hate it.
Yeah.
It's just hated by everyone. And there's a pretty funny clip of Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix. They've been interviewed by someone, and the guy's like, so how do you think the movie turned out? And they both kind of look at each other, and they just like kind of giggle and laugh. Because I think they know the movie is bad, but it's hard because when you're on tour and you're promoting a movie, you can't say it's bad because, you know, you want to make the money, right? That's just the business, unfortunately. But I think they know it's bad. It's sometimes hard because sometimes when you work on a film for that long, there's a point of no return.
Yeah.
So it just did not get caught early in a draft. And unfortunately, this is probably the one case where I hate to say, but maybe a little bit of studio interference might have changed. Yeah. But I don't know. What do you think? Shit was going wrong. Like,
yeah. It's hard to say, obviously. But like, usually I'm against studio interference. Because like I'm really into MCU movies, and I've heard reports. Like, obviously I'm not an insider, but just from what I read, like Kevin Feige is quite hands-on, especially with the newest movies.
Yeah.
Like in Doctor Strange. Did you ever see any the Doctor Strange?
I've seen. He has one solo movie.
Two.
Oh yeah, that's of course. Yeah, Doctor Strange 1 and Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah. So in Multiverse of Madness, there's supposed to be Carl Mordo, which is the villain from the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had always Marvel have the post credits.
Yeah,
it's like setting it up. So they were like, he was the guy. Okay, he's going to be the next movie. And then Kevin Feige's like, no, we want this multiverse concept.
Yeah.
And they were going to have Carl Mordo in the second one. And there's already like laid out. And he's going to be killed in the first minute by Scarlet Witch. Which had been like, whoa, So at least like tie up the loose end from number one. But then Kevin Feige's like, oh no, we may want to use him in a later project.
Yeah.
So he just cut that whole bit out.
So it's kind of like, it's weird when your story elements are just commodities that you can use later, because it ends up just being like spare parts to a film. I mean, looking back on Multiverse of Madness, there are a lot of aspects of that movie that I enjoyed, and most people would say, yeah, it's the horror aspects. But then, there's just too many cooks.
Yeah.
So it's hard, but I think maybe Todd Phillips needed a little bit of help, because the sum of its parts are fantastic, but the end product is just the miserable mess that I'm not sure if I would say it's the worst movie of the year, but it did it's just really uninteresting and boring and just, I don't know, somehow insulting, even though I was not that attached to the first Joker or comic book films. I somehow felt like kind of shitting on a pretty good legacy.
Yeah.
And now, like, people aren't gonna like the first Joker movie anymore. Because, this is where you were leading it to. It's like, it's just disappointment on so many levels.
Oh, yeah, that's actually a good point. Like, Joker 1's legacy may be ruined by... But I'm hoping it's going to be like a Battle Royale 1 and 2 situation.
I don't watch Battle Royale 2. I refuse, because I don't want... Because Battle Royale 1 is my favorite movie of all time. And I just, like, I don't want that to be ruined.
That'll be tainted. Yeah.
So I mean, not related, but I went to a movie poster shop and I spent 150,000 yen on a Battle Royale poster.
Really? Oh, wow. Like,
I was just like... I was just looking through.
Jeez.
Maybe I'll spook the shop here, because it's quite a cool shop.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll put it in a link or something. But it was in Osaka, and I was flipping through all these movie posters. I'm like, oh, I see an Alien poster for about 2,000 yen. The Thing poster. This all looks cool. And I'm like, where's all the Japanese movies? And then like I stumbled across like this Battle Royale poster. And I was like, oh, that is so sick. That's so cool.
Yeah.
150,000 yen.
Jeez.
And I was like, I have to buy that.
Wow.
Otherwise, I'm never going to see it ever again. So
that's like, well, $1,500?
No, $150. Australian.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's still a lot.
It's still a lot, yeah. No, I'm not going to spend $1,000 on a poster. I'm not that... I'm not going to say stupid. I'm not that rich. Very, very not that rich. I don't have that much disposable income, unfortunately.
Yeah, so... actually, I saw Battle Royale 1, and then I saw 2 the next day. Because I like 1 just blew my mind. I'm like, oh my god, this is... before that, like the only Japanese like media exposure I had was anime. And obviously like Dragon Ball and all that. I was really loved it, but I never seen any live action before. Maybe besides a few movies here and there. But then seeing Battle Royale, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, I gotta go watch this Battle Royale 2. So I got it by some means.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, oh my god, like number 2, I'm already. I'm like, oh wow, this was. It becomes like any other movie, really.
Yeah,
it's like a by the numbers.
Yeah, I know what happens because I've read like a plot synopsis because I don't want to watch it, and I was just like, because the first movie is a condense. It's like Battle Royale.
Yeah,
is just one book and one manga series. So. To create, and Kinji Fukusaku passed away, so it was onto his son. And it's just like kind of Frankenstein itself to just make a second one.
Yeah,
but Battle Royale is a lightning, in a bottle moment. But as much as I would love to talk about Battle Royale, I guess it's like that's probably gonna be a full episode at some point in the future whenever I'm ready to talk about that movie.
So go back to Joker quickly.
I mean, to be honest. I'm kind of struggling because I don't know how much more I've got to say about Joker 2.
Just one quick thing about Joker and Battle Royale. So Battle Royale 1 is considered this amazing movie. Everyone's like, oh, like you said, just don't worry about Battle Royale 2.
Yeah, that's it. Don't worry. Yeah.
I'm hoping eventually in about a couple of years down the line, everyone's like, oh, you got to watch Joker. Don't worry about Joker 2, though.
Unfortunately, Todd Phillips doesn't have the luxury to have died and just said, hey, man, my son directed it. So, that's not my vision. It's my son's vision. Like, nope, this is my true vision. And it's like,
it was him.
Okay.
It was the same writer, same team, same cinematographer, same music. It's...
I think, I was reading a little bit about the process of the creation of this movie. I think the musical idea was Joaquin's idea because I think he said it kind of came to him in a dream or something. And obviously, Joaquin is a fantastically talented actor. And I love a lot of his work. But sometimes people forget that any kind of medium is a collaborative work.
Yeah,
that's what makes it really fantastic. I'm sure all the Bong Joon-ho stuff, he's had his help, even Park Chan-wook. It's it's a team thing. You need to listen to everyone. But a lot of this is just kind of a little bit of a wank fest from Joaquin Phoenix and Todd. I'm going to lock myself away. I don't need any creative. Even though that's kind of how I work when it comes to writing. Feedback is very important. And it is up to you to wield the tool of feedback to how you want it. You can take it quite personally. Sometimes hearing certain bits of feedback suck. Giving, let's say, good feedback, it can be positive or negative. There's a way to deliver it that maybe not a lot of people really know how to do. So when you're giving, let's say, the criticism, it feels like, hey, you just shitting on me or something. So sometimes it's yep. The artist will be like, well, fuck you. I'm just going to do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
And then it ends up just not working.
Sorry. I think we went on quite too long on a very bad movie.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. We're probably recording for about an hour or so. I I actually don't really have that much more to say about this
you
movie.
could have really summed it up to be it's terrible.
It's terrible.
Just, as I said, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Just watch the first one.
Yeah, watch the first one. What second one? There's no second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's a Total Recall machine that comes in the future, just go get it removed. Get the memory removed. Not Total Recall, Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind machine.
Oh.
And then erase it and enjoy Joker 1 for what it is. And then just live on the vicariousness of other people hating on Joker 2 without you having actually seen it.
Yeah.
So that's the way. But would you say, I'm not sure if this is my worst movie of the year, but would you say this is the worst movie of the year for you?
As I said, I haven't seen a lot of movies that are made this year. So I'd sum it up to say the worst movie. Oh, wait. So I haven't watched many movies. So I'm summing up everything from the pandemic onwards. So worst 2 movies I've seen is Joker 2 and Amsterdam.
Oh, Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that one? That's at the Margot Robbie? What? No.
Margot Robbie and Christian Bale and
that's right.
David Washington.
Yeah.
Look at that cast, just those 3. It's and it's got Rami Malek. Robert De Niro.
Wait, I'm thinking of Babylon. I haven't seen that.
Oh, Babylon's another one actually. Yeah. I hate it. Oh, I guess have you seen either of those 2?
I haven't seen any of them. No.
Actually, Babylon as well, because just how gross it is. It's the one the grossest movies I've ever seen.
Oh, really?
Which is quite surprising because it's a movie about Hollywood's origins, but for some reason it's incredibly gross.
Interesting. I've heard mixed opinions. I've heard some of my friends like that movie.
Yeah.
But anyhow, no one likes Joker. I don't know anyone. I've seen some contrarian views on Joker 2 and how they say it's going to be a classic in the future. I don't think so. Maybe it will be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because The Thing wasn't, and now people love it. But
could be some ironic thing, The Room, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah. But I think that's pretty much it for Joker with me. So no, thanks again, Lack. Thanks for coming on the show. thanks for letting me stay here for 4 days.
Oh, no, it's good fun.
It's been good fun.
Yeah.
Lex treated me very well, too well, after a very intense couple of weeks, which will probably be in a splurge episode that me and Dan are going to go on about. But no, it's been fun. I really enjoyed recording here with you, talking about a pretty awful film. So maybe it makes the film less awful. So if anything I got out of that film, we got to have this pretty chill conversation about it. That's the best thing that's come out of this movie.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the only decent thing of the entire movie. We just maybe message Todd Phillips and be like, oh, hey, we got a good podcast episode out of it.
Yeah, Todd Phillips.
Maybe he'll come out of his ranch. Apparently, he's hiding in. So maybe that's the one thing.
He's hiding away from the criticism. Like, Joker 2's good. Joker 2's good. Yeah. But no, I think we can wrap this episode up. So thanks again. And you can find us on whatever socials Dan looks after. Yeah, we got the only ones I follow, to be honest, of ours is Instagram and YouTube.
Oh, that was Dan the whole time?
Yeah, it's Dan the whole time. Dan does quite a bit for this podcast, so good on him. But hopefully I'm back in Sapporo again, or maybe you're in Melbourne, and we can do this. And
sure.
To Risky, we're not using our usual... I'm not carrying my SM7Bs to Japan because they're heavy bastards. So we're using these wireless mics. So, but on your recommendation, so you should be fine with that, man. It should be good. But anyway, that's us, fellas, and see you later.
See you guys.